How's it going, Paper Tone Peeps? As the title suggests, we are talking about this Electro Voice 664 dynamic cardioid microphone. So I found this microphone on Facebook Marketplace for a pretty low price tag. I believe it was like $60. I went and picked it up, and I quickly realized there was much that I needed to learn. These microphones were made for voice reproduction or any dynamic causation you could come up with. It has a very high SPL, which means you can put it in front of a drum kit and it won't fold, or you can put it in front of a guitar or bass amp and it'll do just fine. The original purpose was speech, vocal recreation, public addressing, and preamps back then had a lot more gain than they do just off the rip today. So my signal chain is this microphone into a PM1000 with a cloud lifter to boost the signal, so we're getting nice, clean 40 plus decibels of gain on top of what the preamp is offering. The original price tag on these units were about $85. If you wanted one that had a gold finish, same look, but a gold finish, it was $5 more at $90. The frequency response is 40 hertz all the way up to 15 kilohertz with a slight boost from 8K all the way up to that 10K. It might even start a little bit lower than 8K, that boost. So, presence, vocal presence. May not be the greatest on drums, but we're going to do some tests at the end of this video. The middle portion we're about to go into is the rebuild, because these were not built for traditional modern XLRs. It had a 4-pin connector, you'll see in the next video, but I had to use this little 3D printed model, which I will post in the description below, to convert the 4-pin to XLR. Now, I did pick up this 3D schematic for the 3D print from another YouTuber. I'll put his information in the description box below as well. The microphone I'm currently speaking into, I have used some Loctite to seal the connections and any air gap that I saw to make sure the connector is firmly in place, but I don't completely think this is necessary. It's just an extra precautionary measure for me. So without further ado, let's get into the conversion that this video is about. So here are the cables as they are right out of the box, and here is our 3D printed connector. So it's 2 pieces, this little ring sleeve right here that has some threading, and then this little insert right here that's basically a tube. It even has that little notch, the same notch that's like right here on our XLR connector. So yes, you can basically slide this guy right in here, kind of matching up those notches, taking this little tube, sliding them on there, and ostensibly you could screw it into this base, though the mic that I got, the little track here was dented, like somebody may have dropped it at some point. So I took a little hammer. It didn't even take but 2 taps to even it out, so I'm assuming that that's basically soap metal, just the most malleable metal right now. So I might end up using a little bit of Loctite or something to seal this guy on here. I don't intend on taking it off once I have it working. So this is actually the point where we see if we can bring this guy to life. We see if it's even alive, because I haven't even tested that yet. So there are 4 connecting cables inside of this guy. You can see the yellow one, the yellow colored cable, because the white one is yellowed over time, is just hanging free. I have on my XLR port on the back, it's labeled 1, 2, 3, green being 3 on the bottom, and I have white ported to 1, red to 2, and this green to 3. I think I'm going to tape off this yellow cable because in this scenario doesn't do anything for me. So here's my XLR connector. I have folded over some wires, done a little bit of electrical tape. It may not look pretty, but it does work. We got the 3D printed mold. You can see the little screw hole up there at the top. I'm just going to line that up with the screw hole right there. Lays pretty flush and it'll make these guys not separate. So there's a little notch on this 3D print. Just line that notch up with the notch in the mic. And we're going to attempt to slide this down. I might need to push that screw in a little bit more because I see you sticking out just a little bit. After a tiny bit of shimmying, we got him in place. He's living pretty flush all the way around. That slot is perfectly sized. And then this hole in the back that originally held the screw mount for the microphone's original connector. It's kind of redundant now. The second part of our 3D print is this little ring right here. So there's some threading on the inside, and you can see there's like a smooth ridge on the far side from the camera. That smooth ridge will go away from the threading, so on the top side of it. So let's drop that in there. Screw this bad boy down to the best of our ability. Alright, this is how it's looking down here. Pretty good. Pretty even. It feels very, very firmly in there. Doesn't seem like there's going to be much of a problem making a connection with an XLR. So now I guess we move on to our testing. As it stands right now, up is off, down is on. I hope the guitar test worked for you guys. Here is a direct test directly into the preamp. Nothing after, it's dropping directly into the camera. This is what the Electro Voice 664 sounds like. Roughly just neutral. We're going to compare it to this SM58 that's right next to me. And this is last check 1, 2 compared to the 58. Check 1, 2. This is the SM58 going into the PM1000 as a vocal check. We're comparing this to the Electro Voice 664. The microphones, given time and labor, kind of cost the same amount. But if you already have a 58 and you're looking for an alternative inside of the studio, this is an option. The switch on here is just an on-off switch. I'm going to do a little demonstration of that because you probably missed the word that because I turned it off halfway through talking. I would say this is a really interesting and unique alternative to the SM57 or any baseline dynamic microphone. Is the conversion worth it? I don't know. Whenever I got this, the foam that was inside of this mesh on the front had disintegrated. It was basically asbestos. I had to take the front cover off, clean it all up with some apple cider vinegar, which shined it up again, and then put some new foam in there. I don't know how that affects the sound. It doesn't seem to do too much. I bet this doesn't even sound like it did originally out of the box. It's in really healthy working condition. Zero problems. I hope the audio test gave you more of a perspective on its sound compared to another microphone. If this is something that you guys are interested in doing, again, check out the 3D printed schematic in the description below. If this is something that you guys like seeing, like, subscribe, follow us for more. There is a lot on the way, along with the series that is all over this YouTube channel called Now You Get It. But that's another story. See you guys in the next one. Later.